They laughed when my grandfather left me a broken watch. Not money, not property, not even a single dollar in cash, just a shattered timepiece. And in a room full of millionaires, I was the only one holding junk. My name is Elena Stone, and on the day my grandfather died, my entire family believed I was the biggest loser in the will. They walked away with luxury penthouses, private offices, commercial towers, and I walked away with something that didn't even tick. But 3 days later, when I finally repaired that broken watch, every single property they thought they owned vanished from their names. Because my grandfather didn't leave me something worthless, he left me the key to his entire real estate empire. And the moment it started ticking again, everything became mine. The lawyer's office felt colder than usual, not because of the air conditioning, but because grief and greed were sitting in the same room. My name is Elena Stone, 24 years old, the only granddaughter who stayed with Grandpa during his final months, while the rest of them only showed up when his heartbeat stopped. My cousin, Victor Stone, sat across from me. Expensive suit, gold cufflinks, that arrogant smirk he always wore when money was involved. To be honest, Victor said, stretching back in his chair, I just hope Grandpa didn't waste everything on his little inventions. My Aunt Helena scoffed. He had more property than imagination, she said coldly. This will be straightforward. Straightforward. That word almost made me laugh, because nothing about my grandfather was ever simple. The lawyer finally stepped forward. Mr. Alaric Stone, he began, left behind assets totaling approximately... He paused. Everyone leaned forward. $260 million. Gasps filled the room. Victor smiled instantly. Helena squeezed her purse. But then, the lawyer reached into a velvet pouch and placed something small right in front of me. A broken pocket watch. Cracked glass, rust on the edges, silent hands frozen in time. Victor burst into laughter. No way. Helena shook her head in disgust. She gets junk and we get the empire? The lawyer didn't smile. Instead, he read the final line of the will. This watch must never stop, because the time of the empire depends on it. Silence swallowed the room. Victor leaned forward slowly. You're telling me this broken toy controls our inheritance? The lawyer nodded. Yes. And that's when everyone stopped laughing. Except me, because deep down, I remembered something Grandpa once told me, something that suddenly made terrifying sense. 3 days before he died, I sat beside Grandpa's hospital bed. The machines beeped softly. The room smelled like antiseptic and memory. His fingers trembled as he reached for my hand. Elena, he whispered. I'm here, Grandpa, I said. His tired eyes moved toward the watch resting beside him. That watch, he breathed, is not broken. I frowned. But it doesn't tick. He smiled weakly. Neither does a lock until you find the right key. Then he squeezed my hand. Promise me something. My throat tightened. Anything. Keep it running, he whispered, or everything I built disappears. Back in my apartment that night, I placed the watch under a magnifying lens. At first, it looked ordinary, old, damaged, worthless. But then I saw something strange. Tiny lines carved inside the gears, patterns perfectly aligned, not decoration, not scratches, code. And hidden deep inside the mechanism was something no one expected, a microscopic digital interface. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number, one message, only 5 words. Sell the watch before midnight. And that's when I realized my grandfather didn't leave me an inheritance, he left me a battlefield. I locked my apartment door twice that night, not because I was scared, but because something inside me felt watched. The broken watch sat under my desk lamp, silent, heavy, important. I leaned closer and adjusted the magnifier again. That's when I saw it clearly. Not scratches, not damage. Perfect microscopic engravings, tiny numbers, symbols, coordinates. And then something flashed, a faint blue glow, so subtle I almost missed it. I froze, because watches don't glow. Not mechanical ones, not antique ones. My hands trembled as I rotated the crown slightly. Click, click, click. Each turn revealed something new. Hidden between the gears was a microscopic chip, so small it blended into the metal itself. My heart started racing. "Grandpa," I whispered, "what did you build?" I grabbed my laptop, connected my microscope camera, and zoomed deeper into the watch. That's when the truth hit me. Inside the escapement wheel, there was a QR-style micro-pattern, not random, structured, encrypted. I scanned it. Nothing happened at first. Then my screen flickered. A single file appeared. No name, no icon, just numbers, coordinates, passwords, and a symbol I didn't recognize, a spinning circle made of tiny property icons, skyscrapers, warehouses, office buildings. My breath caught in my throat, because this wasn't just data, this was ownership. My phone buzzed again, same unknown number, new message. "Last warning, sell the watch." I stared at the screen. My fingers tightened around the phone. Then another message appeared. "You are not the only one who knows." A chill ran down my spine, because suddenly I understood something terrifying. This wasn't a family disagreement anymore. This was competition, and someone else wanted control of the empire. The next morning, my cousin Victor showed up at my door, uninvited, unsmiling, unfriendly. "Elena," he said coldly, "we need to talk." I crossed my arms. "About what?" His eyes moved toward the watch on my desk. Helena stood behind him, arms folded, eyes sharp. "You didn't think we'd ignore it forever." Victor stepped forward slowly. The lawyer confirmed something interesting. I said nothing. He leaned closer. "That watch is linked to the property records." My pulse quickened. "So what?" I replied calmly. Victor smirked. "So it means you're holding something worth more than cash." Helena stepped in. "Give it to us," she demanded. My jaw tightened. "No." Victor's smile vanished instantly, and that's when I saw something new in his eyes. Not greed, not arrogance, fear. Later that day, I visited the lawyer alone. He closed the office door behind me. "Elena," he said quietly, "there's something you need to understand." I sat down slowly. "This isn't a normal inheritance." "I figured," I replied. He opened a secure folder. Inside were documents, dozens of them, all labeled with timestamps, and one phrase repeated over and over: time-linked property authorization. My chest tightened. "What does that mean?" He adjusted his glasses. "It means your grandfather did something unprecedented." I leaned forward. "What kind of thing?" He took a deep breath. "He connected physical property deeds to mechanical motion." Silence filled the room. "You're saying the watch controls ownership?" He nodded slowly. "Yes, and if it stops, the ownership resets." My stomach dropped, because suddenly the warning made sense. Time of the empire is running out. That night, I searched for help. Not just any repairman, not just any watchmaker. I needed someone rare, someone who understood history and technology. After hours of searching, one name kept appearing: Master Horologist Adrian Voss, a legend in restoration, known for repairing watches no one else could fix, but also rumored to have worked with high-security systems, which made him perfect. Or dangerous. Maybe both. I picked up my phone, dialed the number. It rang once, twice. Then a deep voice answered. "Who gave you this number?" I swallowed. "My grandfather," I replied. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. "Bring the watch immediately." That night, as I prepared to leave, the lights in my apartment suddenly went out. Total darkness. My heart slammed against my ribs. Then a noise. Glass breaking. From the living room. Someone was inside. I grabbed the watch instantly, held it tight against my chest. Footsteps echoed across the floor. Slow, careful, searching. I backed toward the door, breathing quietly. Then a shadow moved across the wall. Not Victor, not Helena, someone else. Someone trained, someone silent. And that's when I realized this wasn't just family greed anymore. This was organized, planned, dangerous. I ran into the hallway, barefoot, heart racing, clutching the broken watch. And just as I reached the elevator, my phone buzzed again. Another message, but this time it included a photo of my apartment, taken from inside seconds earlier, and beneath it 5 chilling words: "You're running out of time."